information. Because the service is working, so we think this segment database will be very appropriate database combined with this with the help of server workers. And in particular, this is very self-managed information program or also from the mobile services we can ensure combined devices. Thank you for your organization for creating this in this department.
Honorable Chair, Co-Chair, I will talk about and community health governance in Bangladesh, challenges and opportunities. In fact, under this title, what I will be discussing that how mobile technology can help people to establish their control over the service providers, so to say. And I'll make a case in relation to health service provision. So let's get into the business. So as I say, that this particular presentation is about to answer how mobile technology has better governance of healthcare as a grassroots. I'm concerned about the community level healthcare service provision. So my assumption is, in answering that question, my assumption is that information is power. So, as you see, I mean, some of my fellow speakers have already explained that what is mHealth and how it works, and even Shubhana also explained that what the infrastructure is in place. And our colleagues from BRAC also explained how they are using mobile technology in building efficiency in their system. So I'm not going to that point. In fact, I'm departing from that efficiency argument to make my case. Very often, the whole governance discourse, the governance-related stories and theories are work with these great efficiency arguments, and which suggest and which refer to how to bring more efficiency, how to cut costs, how to ensure accountability, how to ensure the better service delivery of the argument. But my argument is that governance should be discussed and discussed from a socio-political point of view, and which essentially refers that governance is about the relationship between governed and the governor, and the rule and the ruler, if we say. And this relation, my delivery will try to explain how mobile technology can help to improve this relationship between the two parties. In my case, it is the health service care provider and the service recipient. So, through my explanation, I will try to explain how mobile technology can help to ensure better control of the recipient, of the service client over the service providers. Next. Okay. So, community health governance, I don't think that we need to explain what is community health governance. The basic architecture of the governance in relation to health governance, the way I perceive, is there are four basic dimensions of healthcare governance. There is participation, accountability, coordination, and transparency, keeping state service delivery and client satisfaction at the center. So all these four dimensions that contribute to bring state service delivery and client satisfaction to a higher stage. That's the health governance at the community stage. So my argument is that, as you see, and from the speakers from ACY and from speakers from BRAC, that they have seen, and we acknowledge that the mobile infrastructure is in place in the country. We know that a huge number of mobile subscribers in the country, and they are very connected with the internet, and they have a very smartphone kind of product in their pocket, so the connectivity is there. However, my main argument is that if you want to establish better governance at the grassroots level, meaning that if you want to establish better control of the client, service recipients over the service providers, then you need to ensure 3R. 3R means rights, which includes the rights of the client, rights of the recipient, rights of the citizen, and some resources you need to get in place, like the infrastructure, and you need to have the health service providers, the machines, the supplies, these are resources, and also resources from the supply side. Like if you, my resources also include education and income of the client. So it means that they have the capacity to pay for their services in case even when they need. And the readiness means the preparedness and the responsiveness from the both sides to communicate with each other, means from the service provider and from the service recipient. So if we can ensure these three things together, then this particular technology, for this case, mobile technology can help to establish the relationship between the government and the government. That's our goal. So, in doing that, these are the, I think we are going to talk about this. We have conducted a very small operation research, and some of you may know that Eminence has been implementing in partnership with government community project in Seven Gujarat, and we conducted a small research in Seven Gujarat, in which we in fact gave our research partners some mobile access to mobile technology, and we gave kind of small training to them, and they were assigned to establish the relationship between the client and the community clinic service providers. So you know there is community clinic management group, you know there is community clinic supporting group, and those, our research partners, they have basically facilitated and created a kind of environment through which these groups, this community management group, this community clinic support group, they can establish a better control over the service provider at the community level. So, and we are saying that, I mean, through our research for last 7 months, we have conducted this research, and initial results, it shows that in the time area, the number of meetings of community support group, community clinic management group, this has increased. It means these are the forums of the common citizens. So they have now increased number of meetings with the community clinic providers, including other stakeholders like Indian Social and Indian Health Assistance and other providers. So, and also we have seen that monitoring of the healthcare providers, whether they are in the service station, whether they are opening up the stations on site, these are the things, and the clients are now in a better position to monitor the service providers. And we also have seen that the dissemination of information, and from the demand side, and from the supply side, and from the provider side, it has increased for the last 7 months. And the participation of community in general has increased in different forums, through different forums. Like now they are in a better position to help the community clinics and providers to make decisions on supplies, on choosing the clients, and etc. So this very initial study suggested that in those 7 Gujarat, in fact, within the 7 catchment area of 7 community clinics, the citizens, the clients have now better control, increased control over the service providers. However, it has a lot of challenges, like if we say from the system perspective, it has the lack of accountability. All the service providers are accountable, officially they are accountable to the line agency, so there is a problem, and there is an emergency coordination issue, and community participation in general is a problem for the healthcare system, and transparency at all levels, and educated number of health professionals has been one of the big problems for this issue. Just to stick and for particularly going to challenges related with mHealth, there is lack of knowledge concerning the possible application of mHealth. There is one of the major challenges, and there is policy barriers to mHealth, scaling to scalability, and to what extent we can scale up and to whether that's going to be sustainable. That's a big issue, and it requires a lot of policy support and legislative support. They are not in place yet, so this is one of the big challenges. And then funding is also because it's cost. So it's an issue, and there is not much research on AML. So finally, just to conclude the whole deliberation with some positive note, there are some opportunities, and the first opportunity that our citizens are well advanced of than their policymakers. So now they have came forward. Now they are equipped with available state-of-the-art technology, and also through that technology they increase the access to different services, state-of-the-art technology, and also through that technology they increase the access to different services. And since it's a mobile technology, so it can reach out millions of people very quickly. So that's another opportunity and adoption. People have already adopted it, so it's already a technology there. And it's a two-way interaction, so it's an interaction between the service providers and the service recipient, so it keeps things alive, so it keeps things moving. And of course, considering other issues, costs are not that much. Of course, it has cost, but still the cost to some extent can be affordable for a large part of the population. And of course, we don't want to ignore the efficiency element as well, but not at the cost of the empowerment of the argument. So efficiency also brings a lot of efficiency within the system. So with this note, thank you very much for your attention here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yusuf. These are operability systems and code of indicators in Bangladesh.
Later I did my whole career in telco, telecommunication, and then I moved to mobile health as my fellow forensic sitting here at last year. We were lucky enough to work with that for preparing and delivering the health solution. But here I'm afraid that maybe being I'm speaking here like an engineer, not like a doctor. So maybe my presentation can be frustrating technology heavy thing, but if you deal with me, I will like to explain what I'm actually saying, because it's very small, very simple message, only one message I would like to share with you. Thank you for supporting and actually inviting me here to give me an opportunity to address almost all the doctors and published experts, like an engineer from software and all. So see, here it's a futuristic side. Say we all have the EMR thing. All the presentations so far have been done is about the importance of information and getting that everybody knows. By this time, everybody is already, satisfied. Information is the key, and we will require information to better deliver the health and all the services. Fine. Now, what happens when a developed country digitize all their health information systems? Do you know that? Does everybody have any idea what every hospital, every health insurance system, and every laboratory of the country is all digitized? I'm sure some developed country members are here, citizens are here, they know this is the scenario. All the box is separate silos. Separate silos means, if you allow, প্রত্যেকটা database আলাদা. No database can share the information or pass the information to the connected system. আমি কি বুঝতে পারলাম? সব হাসপাতালে database আছে, সব ল্যাবরেটরি database আছে, কিন্তু চাইলে আপনি একটা জায়গা থেকে ইনফরমেশন আর জায়গায় নিতে পারবেন না. That is the scenario of difference in the very developed country. So, my question is, are we going to do the same mistake? আমরা কি আবারও সমস্ত হেলথ ইনফরমেশন সিস্টেমকে আলাদা আলাদা করে কোনটা ওরা করে কোনটা একেবারে ফর্মুলা অনুযায়ী করলাম কোনটা স্কোয়ারে এভাবে করে কি আমরা আবার আলাদা আলাদা সাইলো তৈরি করে ফেলবো? Are we going to create our own silos like developed country has done. I think having nothing has some opportunity. If our system we have a window to do it perfectly, to do it correctly. Because later on, when we try to interchange the data and the related process, that is very expensive. Even the developed countries are not going to have that. I mean, Bangladesh is okay. এভাবে করে গেলাম পরে পিপি আর রাজশাহী মেডিকেল আর ঢাকা মেডিকেলের ইনফরমেশন যে যখন আমরা ইন্টারফেস করতে চাইবো তখন আমাদের পকেটে পয়সা কুলোবে না। It's very, very expensive if we not address at this moment when we are about to build our EMR system. So here you can see that the very smart use of information based on the GIS and others. The US UK government is doing that. I was just saying we have to use the information, right? So we have to collect the information from everywhere. So what happens, you see how this silo is built. It will be calculated written at the one single health service provider is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 separate database having different protocols. And they are not even in a hospital, they could not achieve this. So what is interoperability and what is really important? See, আমি এখানে বলার চেষ্টা করছি interoperability শব্দটা কঠিন কিন্তু বুঝতে সহজ। See, it looks like tools are offered, you see heavy, you see huge technical stuff, but if you look into this atom, you will find that two systems is changing data, exchanging data. Say for example, আমার নাম, আমার বয়স, আমার date of birth, এগুলি কিন্তু আরেকটা সিস্টেমে যেতে হবে, right? So one diagnosis, something like say pneumonia, easily can be sent to a hospital, but that hospital may be using ICD-10. They're expecting something like a code, maybe some different code, maybe even in address. If I write address in Garisha like VAR, and another hospital is writing VOR, so the computer background you have, you know that computer will never know that, right? So after having crores of data, millions of bytes, it easily can be a digital burden. And not only that, if you think that referral system is required, I mean, if you want to refer a patient from one hospital to another hospital, the chance that registration has been done, but the imaging is stored to another hospital, and then emergency service has been done. So you will need not only data interchange, but also the continuum of service and data, the very business process interoperability. Otherwise, you cannot actually maintain the whole course. So, how others achieve this? I already said that US and UK and other developed countries trying to achieve that. But some very poor country like Rwanda is on the way to achieve that. So this is not like expensive, it's all about thinking ahead. People a little bit ahead. So I'm not going to describe this work, which is basically for a little bit separate audience, but that everybody do not require any data. There is a situation, and there is a privacy issue. Not every information is supposed to go to everybody. You see, so those challenges are there. And যদি বাংলায় বলি, আমাদের অসুখের খবর তো সারা বিশ্বে জানার দরকার নেই, রাইট? তো আমার যদি সব ডিজিটাইজ হয়ে যায়, আমার অসুখটা কেন আমি সবাইকে জানিয়ে ফেলবো? তো সেটা কিভাবে ইস্যু করা হবে? আমার তো হাসপাতালে আমার পার্সোনাল ইনফরমেশন তো বাইরে যেতে হবে না, তাই না? And the thing that with the Rockefeller Fund in 2011, we did some readiness studies regarding interoperability. We found, yes, again, good. Nothing is there that means the change. If there is something, then the visual expensive conversation could come in, but fortunately we have nothing. Okay. But soon we will have a law. And if those are against idols, it will block. And DGHS has a tremendous job that they started. Actually, they started because we know now that every district has to be in a standard district. Every district should use that. Every hospital should have a single ID. Every citizen should have a single ID. So on that basis, and all the disease name and disease body, we have to follow ICD name and something like that standard. So DGHS has a tremendous job. We actually think on that and using some, if you could remember the yesterday's speech by Professor Ajay, that DH2 and OpenML they are thinking in a standard way and also distribute to others that everybody can do that. So, see the way to go. On high-level steering committee for the public identity management, completing standards for data elements and indicators, roles and privacy and policy or something like HIPAA, but also on our own device, not like from America, it's copy and paste. It should be HIPAA standards. And use the terminology standard like low-end activities, knowledge, and also for interchange like HS7 and HDMX, HD. And you see, it's all about standards. It's all about following some discipline, and all about everybody should have some regulation, and then we easily, if not access now, we can easily end up in isolated silos like developed countries. Later, the price of interoperability can be unaffordable. It is really not a technical challenge, but challenge of collaboration between all the stakeholders. Following standard is the key of interoperability. It is not necessarily has to be a single centralized system. Like everybody using DHS2 and everybody using OpenML. Sorry, maybe that will be not a scenario. Everybody would like to have their own system. Now there has to be a guideline to interoperate and interchange. And government has to play the key role here because this is something that the NGO and private sector of their own cannot achieve. Thank you. Thank you very much.
যে কিভাবে আমাদের MIS সিস্টেম বাংলাদেশ প্রশ্ন করতে পারি মূল এখনকার বিষয়বস্তু ছিল যে মোবাইল টেকনোলজি বেরিং আমরা হেলথ সার্ভিসেস আমরা দেখছি অল্প বিভিন্ন মোবাইল কোম্পানিরাও করছে তাদের সরকারের পক্ষ থেকে বেসরকারিভাবে এবং নানা রকম রিসার্চ প্রতিষ্ঠানও এগুলো নিয়ে নাড়াচাড়া করছে আজকে কিছুক্ষণ আগে এই সম্পর্কে আপনারা শুনতে পেলেন ব্র্যাকের মানসিকে শুনতে পেলেন টিভিতে তাদের যে ব্যবস্থা ইনফরমেশন নিয়ে হচ্ছে সেখানে শুনতে পেলেন ইউএসএআইডি এগুলো নিয়ে নাড়াচাড়া করছেন রকেফেলারের পক্ষে আমরা কাজ করেছেন সেগুলো সম্পর্কে আপনারা আমার আলোচনা করেছেন এবং এর আগেও গতকালকেও এই সমস্ত বিষয়ে যে পদক্ষেপগুলো আমরা বর্তমানে প্রচলিত আছে এবং নেওয়া হয়েছে এগুলো সম্পর্কে তো এই বিষয়গুলো নিয়ে আপনারা কোনো কথা বলতে পারেন জিজ্ঞেস করা আপনাকে আরো ফার্দার কোনো ক্লারিফিকেশন
large population with ourselves actually push, and our health condition is not great. And after the movement, our climate will return much, and so the common disease always coming with us. And our technical side, our medical department is not so strong, but our people are really poor and